The Merchant is one of the most mysterious characters in Resident Evil 4, if not in the whole franchise. Besides being an expert weaponry salesman, the Merchant is surrounded by intriguing questions. For example, where did he learn his amazing dad jokes?
Stranger! What you need that for? Go and hunt an elephant?
Many people believe that the Merchant's secrets are better undercover. While I get the idea that the Merchant's mysteriousness is part of his identity, I still believe that uncovering his backstory would still be an amazing addition to the remake, and one of the ways that the developers can make it carry additional value and not just a copy of their original with better graphics. In this video, we'll try to cover up all the mysteries the remake needs to answer about the Merchant. First, I want to start by pointing out his link to the Merchant from Resident Evil 8, the Duke.
What are you buying? Just something an old friend of mine used to say.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. What are you buying?
It is clear after what the Duke said that he was referring to the Resident Evil 4 Merchant. Now, if we look at the trailer of Resident Evil 8 DLC, we can see that the Duke turns into a villain. I know that isn't yet confirmed, and there can be a lot of story twists that need to be explained before we make that assumption, but still, it is a possibility. Now, considering that this possibility is true and the Duke is a villain, what kind of relationship can a Merchant as a regular guy have with a monster? This brings up the question, is the Merchant even a regular guy? Though the Merchant presents himself to be nothing but a weapon salesman, his appearance doesn't suggest so. If you look closely at his eyes, there is a red light that glows out of them, which turns them similar to those of Leon after his infection or Albert Wesker. This arouses the question, is he infected? Well, something that we know about those who are infected is that they are subject to the orders of those who have a dominant Plaga, such as the Big Cheese or Saddler. The Merchant, on the other hand, doesn't show any devotion to any of the Plaga-infected monsters that are supposedly higher in rank than him, as he never attacks Leon, who is a target of the Ganados, nor does he try to get Ashley from you, even if you leave her in front of him. So, if we suppose that he is infected, why is he not subject to Saddler's control? If we are still to insist that he is infected with a Plaga, we only have the option to assume that his rank is equal or even higher than that of Saddler, as he's able to operate under his own commands. While that is a possibility, it seems like an extreme stretch of his potential. One could argue that his need for conducting a weapons business for money would no longer make sense if he had a dominant Plaga, as that would present him with the opportunity to get it differently, considering the extreme power and influence that would be in his hands. Another aspect that questions the Merchant being a regular guy is his invincibility to the Ganados. Throughout the game, he is found in different areas which can easily be accessed by Ganados, yet he seems perfectly comfortable and not in any kind of hurry. He always talks in confidence and never asks Leon for help or support, which is what I imagine a normal person would do in a place stormed by crazy mass-killing maniacs. His invincibility is best shown moments before the cabin fight, when Leon and Ashley find themselves between two huge crowds of Ganados. Moments before this crowd of Ganados invaded the place, the Merchant was there, which gave him no chance to leave without being seen. So what is the secret that allowed him to get out of this situation without any harm? Did the Ganados just ignore him, or were they scared of him by any chance? And if so, why were they? If we go back to consider the chances that he might be infected, we can speculate that his Plaga power is speed, as that would explain how he got out of the previously mentioned situation without any harm. I know it sounds somewhat extravagant, but this possibility also explains his ability to change his location very quickly, never missing a chance to meet Leon. But all in all, the question why he was able to get out of there unharmed stays unanswered. A lot of people like to relate the Merchant's ability to travel long distances in a short time to a note written by the Big Cheese that can be found at a village. In this note, it is mentioned that Louis Serra is efficient at staying undercover because he uses secret passages in the village that were taught to him by his grandfather. Who else knows how to get around the village pretty fast? That's right, the Merchant. In the same note, however, it is mentioned that Louis Serra's grandfather is dead. But we can get around this by suggesting that his death was faked for some reason and that he keeps his identity unknown by covering his face with a scarf to not let anybody know that he is still alive. There are still a lot of things we can question about the Martian, and these are only a few of them. To recap, the main questions that were mentioned in this video are: what's the link between the Duke from Resident Evil 8 and the Martian? Is the Martian a regular guy, or is he infected with a Plaga? If he is infected, how does he not fall under the control of Sadler? And lastly, is he related to Louis Serra? If the remake includes a backstory for the Martian, answering all of these questions, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would find it a very satisfying addition, as I'm sure I would. This topic can never be closed, and the mysteries that surround this character's identity are infinite, so let me know in the comments what are your best theories. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.